Morris. Howdy folks, how's it going? Gabriel here. I'm in San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas state in southern Mexico. This is the main central square and the original cathedral built by the Spanish in 1528. So I'm going to walk down this little bit quieter street as I record this video on the subject of, is it safe to travel in Mexico? There are some misconceptions about travel in Mexico based on various events broadcast in the media that have given an impression of Mexico being a dangerous place to travel. So I spent a month on the Yucatan Peninsula previously, and then traveled through Belize and Guatemala, and then just entered Chiapas in Mexico here a few days ago, and I've just been wandering around exploring this really lovely city of about 160,000 people. And so I thought that it would be a good way to give a better impression of what Mexican cities are actually like, to actually record this video while walking along the street, so you can get a impression of things. So it is a phenomenon around the world that people will see various news stories, protests in Bangkok, the revolution in Egypt, the incident in Nepal in which the prince, slaughtered the whole family. So these are obviously very disconcerting events, and this tends to stick in people's minds of, well, that's what's going on in that part of the world. They're in revolution, they have a civil war going on. I was just in Guatemala, which had a terrible civil war. There has been unrest in this area of Mexico, in Chiapas and Oaxaca states, in southern Mexico. But as you can see, that does not mean that it's a war zone. Just because there are incidents that happen does not mean that it's always like that. And that's what gets broadcast in the news. There are no news stories really of, it was a nice, pleasant, peaceful day in San Cristobal de las Casas, and there was good shopping and nice restaurants, and nothing much happened other than people strolling around, enjoying themselves and soaking up the sunshine and listening to music. That doesn't make international news, right? So people get the wrong impressions about places. Yes, there is drug violence in Mexico. Yes, there is political unrest at times, but that does not mean that it is unsafe to travel to Mexico. Imagine if the only impression that people got around the world of the United States was the incidents of violence and murders in Chicago for a week. Chicago has a very high murder rate. Now imagine if that was the only news story that people saw about the US. They'd be thinking, man, oh man, I better not go to the United States. It's a crazy, violent country, practically in a war zone mode. And of course, that is not the case. So I don't have any statistics handy to show what the incidents of robberies and muggings and rapes and murders and everything are of foreign travelers in Mexico. But I can just speak from my own experience of having spent more than a month in Mexico. My month on the Yucatan was amazing. The towns there are very pleasant as well. Even Cancun, walking around Cancun was great. It's one of the most popular tourist spots in Mexico. But generally speaking, I don't feel unsafe walking around Mexican cities from what I've experienced. It certainly depends on where you go. Northern Mexico has more of these incidents of drug violence and everything. It will vary depending on the situations that are going on at that particular time, the time of year, the areas that you go to, and whatnot. So obviously you want to do a little research before doing a trip to anywhere and find out what the latest is. But it's just very often misunderstood what is actually happening on the ground, the daily lives of people in various places around the world. I went to Kashmir, India last year. Many people who are familiar with Kashmir, it's not all that famous of a place, but it is known for being a hotspot because it is disputed between Pakistan and India. It is a small region of India that is majority Muslim, whereas most of India is Hindu. Anyways, I won't give the whole spiel on that. But I went to Kashmir, to the main city of Srinagar, and it was absolutely one of the loveliest, most friendly, pleasant, places I've been. And most people think of Kashmir as being a war zone because of the incidents that have happened between India and Pakistan over the years. But that doesn't mean that that's always happening. So the same with Mexico. Certainly, do your research and look into the place that you've heard about and are thinking of going to. But I found Mexico to be just a very, very pleasant, very friendly place. Like I feel safer basically walking on these streets than in a lot of towns in the United States. People are incredibly friendly. There's just a very, very pleasant, low-key, mellow vibe, as you can see in this city here. Really lovely architecture. The weather, of course, is fantastic, nice and sunny. So don't put off your plans to possibly travel to Mexico based on something you saw in the news 5 years ago that happened in one particular spot in Mexico. So I hope that helped to clear a few things up. And lastly, I would just say I am continuing my travels from here, going to the coast of Mexico, going to enjoy the beach scene. So feel free to subscribe to my channel here to follow my upcoming adventures wherever they take me. All right, take care. Hasta luego.